suppose I was talking to myself before hitting record. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As of this recording, it is $9/9/99 and the Dreamcast. No, I'm just kidding. It's September 9th, 2024. If anyone can tell me what I was talking about there with the $9/9/99, and I said Dream, maybe I said the whole thing. Dreamcast came out on that date. The Sega Dreamcast, which is one hell of a way to go out. One hell of a way for a company to go out of manufacturing hardware. What are we talking about today? Well, I'm going to vlog this. If anything, for me, you guys don't have to watch it. I will label them. I will label them appropriately so that you know to avoid it if you just don't care. But a little something that the cats over at the Atari Creep YouTube channel now know, because of a stream I did last night, as a matter of fact, is that I am starting a new journey in my life. I am starting anew. I've allowed my depressions and anxieties and just fears of this world eat me up to a point where I couldn't even believe who I was. Looking back at it now. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still struggling with it. But it's not forcing me into this place that I've been in for 4 years. And it all stems back from a series of misfortunes, so to speak, you know? Bad decisions and, you know, circumstances and what have you. And it just kept getting tougher for me and tougher for me and tougher for me. And when I got done with corrections, I really had nowhere to go. And I never went anywhere except for just right to work somewhere. And it was always just this job, just this. Sometimes it would be minimum wage, sometimes it wouldn't be. But I never had any clear direction, and that has hindered me for a great many years since I had to leave corrections. On top of that, because I'm not making corrections money, which at the time was great. The overtime was amazing. A lot of things in my life have fallen financially. Obligations, we'll just say a few legal obligations that I have. And not for any other reason than I just didn't have the means, you know? So I'm behind on a lot of things on top of being behind in life. So I have started today classes to become a machinist. I'm going to this place up in Woburn. The guy owns a machine shop, and I guess 10 years ago, he opened up this school, and I don't know how that happened, but long story short, the program that I am in is free. Well, it's not free. Somebody somewhere is paying for it, and in my case, it's the United States Navy. I found that out today. There's no obligation to go work for them, but there is an opportunity in Rhode Island for building subs and missiles and stuff like that, you know, cutting little pieces for us. Nuclear sub or something crazy like that. So that's an option, but I'm not going to go that direction unless they offer me big money, because I'll never move to Rhode Island ever again. Sorry, Rhode Islanders. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the only thing I found down there was frustration, dirt, and McDonald's. Honestly. I was in Cumberland, if that means anything to you. I was on Main Street in Cumberland over by Ann and Hope, and then 303 High Street. Look it up. There was a cemetery wrapping around my house. It was pretty cool. And then I moved back to Mass and eventually to Arizona. But I've done a number of things over the years, you know. I can work restaurants, but I hate the restaurant culture. I'm just not in that, you know what I mean? It's too social, and though I do speak in that language, I don't like it. I don't like the chaos of it anymore. My mind just can't do it. I just don't like it. I mean, for God's sakes, it's like the Wild West back there. I remember I worked at this one TGI Fridays, and it was either Goodyear or Avondale, Arizona. I could never figure out where that line was. There was a dude behind it. He was doing the expediting. You know, everyone's cooking everything, and he's putting it together and giving it to the waitresses and calling out what he wants. And he's down there with this meth pipe. Okay, I need 2 steaks, medium rare, a couple things of potatoes. You know, they would hide beers and stuff. I'm just not into that. Sorry about that. I was interrupted, and I genuinely don't know where I left off. I mean, I suppose I could just stop the video and listen to it, but I'm not gonna. All right, I'm gonna do it. All right, apparently I was talking about restaurants and not the United States Navy. We already got past the Navy. In the Navy. You know what? Let me touch on that. I'm not a fan of paying off people's student loans. You can be mad at me all you want, but that free money you're getting is not free. Taxpayers are paying for it. I can't get down with that. I apologize. So one of the things I've said to myself with this program, I thought it was something I was going to be paying for, and it turns out that I'm not going to have to. I'm going to find a way to pay for it, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair that you have to pay for me to get back on my feet. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does, because it's like locally we had this thing, it was an override where they would tax homeowners a little bit more so they could throw money into schools and stuff. And yes, we have children in school. Our daughters, they're twins, they're juniors in high school. But we don't own a home, so it's not going to affect us. So I did not vote for it, whereas others in the house did vote for it. That's the mama bear. I'm the practical guy. I don't own a home, so I am not going to ask you to pay money that I'm not going to. I'm not going to make you folks do anything that I wouldn't do my damn self. That situation. So that I feel a little bit better about. I don't know how I'm going to find a way. Maybe I can find another organization that teaches people trades. You know, that kind of like almost like what I'm doing. You know, so that is that with that. It just, you know, it feels good having a direction. First 5 minutes, I thought I failed. I sat down, and they put a piece of paper in front of me. And it was like decimals and all this math stuff. And then there was a box with lines and numbers on it. And I had no idea what they even wanted me to do with it. I could do basic math. I can read a ruler. I have calipers. I mean, I work on guitars and stuff. What I do here is just having fun. But in the real world, I'm pretty precise when it comes to stuff like that. But the numbers in which you have to do with machinists, I mean, it's in the thousands. You know, sometimes they go beyond that. But for the most part, you're just dealing within thousands and then little extra sometimes, you know. And I can get that concept, but it's like you got 3/16 and it has to be in this decimal and this and that, and I'm just like, I can't fill any of this out. I tried. I legit tried. So I just said, I went up to the dude and I said, look, here's the thing. I didn't know. I was told, don't worry about prepping for anything, just show up. I can't fill any of this out. And he was like, he smiled. Because he saw, I was tearing up, dude. Like, I wasn't crying or anything. I'm not afraid to cry. But I'm not going to do it in front of a bunch of dudes at a machine shop school. But I really did. My heart sunk within 4 or 5 minutes of being there because I saw this test. And I don't know. I said, you know what? It's another friggin' thing I'm going to fail. I'm done. I'm just done with all of this. So I brought it up to the dude. Instead of just being like, look, I can't do this and leaving, I brought it up to him and said, look, I know this is important to the trade, but I don't know any of this. And I know you're going to teach, but now let's back up a little bit. I was going to go to a similar program, but much longer in this town called Danvers. And they gave you a test to see if they even wanted to go forward with you. And I wouldn't have made it past that test. And that's where I was thinking I was at, you know? I'm thinking I'm going home within the first hour of my first day of career training. But the dude was awesome. He looked at me with this smile on his face, and he was just like, I'm going to give you this piece of paper back in, I can't remember how long he said. And I'm going to let you keep this one. And I'm going to give you a duplicate, and you're going to fill out that duplicate, and you're going to put them side by side and realize that you're overthinking it right now. All you need to do is sit there, absorb, take notes when we tell you to, and when we get out into that shop, it'll all start making sense, I promise you. We've put the dumbest of the dumb through here. So I feel great. I was so terrified going into it just to begin with. That little moment there put a lot of fear into me, and my heart sunk. I'm not going to lie. Like, I felt like, it almost felt as bad as when my ex-wife said to me, you know what? I think we're going to get a divorce. We had separated, and I had worked on a bunch of things and got the things done that needed to be done. And she still wanted a divorce. And I remember how that felt. And that's the same feeling I had sitting in that chair this morning, looking at this dude who told me he was 85 years old. He looks like he's in his late 60s at best. Still out there working. I mean, he owns the whole place, you know. But he is. He's out there. You see his hands and everything. He's a worker, as they say back here. But I had to go to him and tell him I can't. And I was expecting to be thrashed by a boomer. I don't go there, but that's legit what his generation is. He was just like, cool, I'm going to train you as if I wanted to hire you. So I'm going to make sure that you're well enough to work in my shop, and who knows, maybe you'll get a position in there if you really want to. Made me feel so good. Day one in the books. Day one in the books. We got a few notes, a couple pieces of paper, and now I know what I need. They gave us the glasses and a little ID thing. And charts for conversions. Bolted a big piece of paper in on this little pocket guide. And I guess every one of the machines have them too. And most of them are numerical with the computer. We're going to be learning on manual lathe first. Manual machine, whatever the fuck. And then we're going to move into actual CNC workers, which is what I mainly want to do. I do want to learn how to manually do it. I want to turn a couple of lightsabers, because they said that you could have a couple of projects throughout the course, and depending on the material and size and all that stuff, you know, you're free to do whatever, as long as you show all the work and you do it proper and they caliper it and everything's groovy. I'm going to do a lightsaber. I don't know why I made that face. Guys, thanks for listening. I don't know if I want to do this every day. I might. We're going to be doing this until mid-November. So, again, I will clearly mark them. And if you don't care to watch these ones, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. I know these probably won't be very entertaining. I'm mainly doing it for me, so I can go back. So I can go back and say, you know what? I overthought all that. And to see my progress. I want to see the progress. You know, the reason why we have a belt system in martial arts here is because Americans need to see that progress somehow. That's what I heard. It started with the Army, with karate, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. Wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. Give me a little bit of encouragement down there. Tell me to go F myself, whatever. Subscribe. Do the stuff. Don't do the stuff. It's all gravy, baby, guys. But wherever in the world you are, I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. And until next time, take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye. Seriously, wish me luck. What's it gonna hurt? And just because you've stuck around this long, I'm gonna reward you. So I've taken the new scooter apart, and I'm getting ready to take this apart. I gotta go get my Allen keys, and we're gonna be ditching the handlebars more than likely and getting something a little more rad. But everything else is gonna stick around. So I was thinking about the pipe here, and I said, you know what? Let's make a hood ornament for it. So I grinded this down. I'm just gonna get some JB weld put on there, and we're gonna blend it in here with some putty. That's gonna be rad. So there you go. One of my Franken skulls is going to be adorned permanently on this. This custom's gonna come along. It's pretty cool. I'm excited.